This is CW Iowa Live.
Good morning, everyone. It's 11 minutes past 9 o'clock right now. Welcome back to the program. Lou along with Michelle Brown in for Jackie this morning. And time now to visit with our good friend Sheree Clark from Fork in the Road. As we're talking about New Year's resolutions, you have to realize the #1 resolution for the new year happens to be getting healthy and staying fit. That's on the top of majority of lists that are out there, and you are getting bombarded on your emails with all these different diet scams and these pills and these magic bullets that are out there trying to get you fit and trim for the new year. It's just not that easy to do that, is it?
Wouldn't it be nice if it was?
Yes.
But it's not. But here's the good news.
It is, though. Like you mentioned, it is.
It's not as easy as going and buying something off the shelf, however. It's as easy as going back to basics, which is really what we're here to talk about today.
We're not just talking about going cold turkey from Christmas cookies and then snacking on cauliflower instead, right?
Not entirely, but there's some things that we need to do to start rethinking, and here's where we start with the rethinking. People start talking about New Year's diets and the resolution, so they'll do things like buy books. So here's an example of a classic type of a book. So a detox diet. So what are we detoxing from? We're detoxing from alcohol and caffeine and sugar and all of the things that we ended up doing a lot of this season. So that's certainly one way of doing it, but it's really limiting because you're saying to yourself, I'm going to do without. Another way might be to go something to another extreme is like the 80-10-10 diet.
Okay, what is 80-10-10?
80% fruit, 10% carbohydrates, or I'm sorry, fat, and 10% something else. You can see I don't subscribe to it.
The key here is 80%. You said fruit.
Fruit. Okay.
Well, that's gonna really cleanse you, won't it?
It'll cleanse you. It's also hard to sustain. I don't know about you, but I mean, I love fruit, but to subsist 80% of my diet on fruit that's a hard thing to do. So people get, what happens is we get into this extremism and we start thinking, I went off the rails, I said let's party, and that's all I did. And so now I've got to go the other extreme. And what happens is we overcorrect, when really what we need to do is step back and go back to where we should be eating. So I really prefer things like,
okay, what's this one here?
Yes.
Straight up food. And this is actually my current favorite cookbook. You know that most of what I eat is raw, but when I eat cooked food, I eat from here. And here's what I like about it. It's not just about what you eat, like a lot of fruits, it's what you don't eat. So in the straight up food world, we don't eat oil, sugar, or salt. Okay.
No oil, fat-based oil?
Not fat. It's not. I didn't say fat. I said oil.
Oil in general.
Right, oil. So you're eliminating or significantly reducing those three things. And the cool thing about that is if you think about how we were intended to eat, we're eliminating or reducing all of those things anyway. Because whole food doesn't have oil. It doesn't have salt, other than something like celery, which is some natural sodium content, but that's not salt, or sugar, other than the sugar content in something like a mandarin. So let's talk about what you can eat if you're going to be thinking more healthfully and not going down the diet road, okay? So let's talk about real foods. And let's start with snacking, because we all like to snack. First and best thing that you can do is get something directly from the store that's real whole food that doesn't have any preparation to it. And I brought you today mandarin oranges because they're so delicious. I like to buy a bag. These are organic mandarins. I like to buy these. They're easy to peel. They're easy to snack on. And if we peel one now, I'll show you what you can do with it later that also makes it part of your lunch. Okay.
All right. So, and these are the things that people might see in the stores if you don't have an organic shop, the cutie type things.
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
The same type of thing? Okay.
Absolutely. It's a whole food. There's one ingredient to it. It's the food. There's nothing else.
That.
It's not enhanced.
Simple.
It's
simple,
very
simple.
easy. Right. And you don't have to worry about how to transport it or what to do with it or what if I don't have a microwave. It's all ready to go. You can eat it in your car while you're driving. And I'm not advocating littering, but it is biodegradable if you threw it out the window. Just saying.
That's right.
Okay. But let's say that you want something a little bit, a packaged snack because you're getting on an airplane to come back home. So one example might be, for example, packaged beets.
I never would have thought about getting packaged beets.
Well,
they jump on an airplane.
Beet chips are delish. I'm telling you, they are so good. You'll like these. So these, the reason...
Okay, they are the consistency. I'm going to try to explain this to folks. They are the consistency. I haven't even bitten into this yet, but it looks very similar to rye chips. The little tiny rye bread chips that you have for the holidays. So that's what this thing kind of looks like right here. So
like a thicker potato chip.
Yep, exactly, like a thick potato chip, a little smaller.
That's actually not bad.
They're really, really good.
Very strong.
And here's the thing, Michelle, I'll ask you to read the ingredient label on the back of that.
Beets.
Okay.
Beets.
That's it?
That's it.
Beets.
That's it.
So people just get them, they
it's
slice them?
It's kind of sweet. It's got the crunch.
Exactly.
And it's delicious.
Perfect. So here's the thing. I'm always telling you read labels, even on something like this, because I bought this particular brand. There was another competing brand that was 20 cents cheaper. I almost went for that, looked at the ingredient label, it had added salt.
No way.
So I left it on the
shelf. Now, is this something simple enough? Because I know you're a big fan of the mandolin and your dehydrator. Is this something you can do at home?
Absolutely, yes, yeah. You could do that, and actually people can do it in a convection oven as well. Just look it up online and try not to add extra things. Some recipes will suggest that you add oil to keep it from sticking. Just do your research. You can find a way of doing it without
and folks,
anything.
if you haven't looked at your oven lately, if you have an oven, check it out. Chances are really good it has a setting for dehydrate.
Yep, exactly. The modern ones certainly do. Another packaged good, Michelle, I gave you a package of figs. Lou, I brought you a package of mini plums.
Mini plums.
Mini plums. And again, if you want to read the ingredient label, one of you.
Yes, this is dried figs.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
a little bit of water.
Yes, exactly.
All right,
water will count.
Yeah, here's
a little bit of water.
Ingredients: organic dried plums. There you go. That's what's in this one right here.
Exactly. And plums, by the way, are the new word for, do you know what they were? What they used to call them? Dried plums?
What do they call dried plums?
Prunes.
Prunes?
Yep. So there's an added benefit to that, and I'll let you figure that out and let me know.
In a couple hours, we'll let you know, right?
Exactly.
All right, just say we're talking about the cleanse.
And exactly. And the other thing about these things is they're lower in calorie. Now, remember, anytime you dehydrate or dry or something, you're condensing the calories, you're condensing, taking the water out and so forth.
These are delicious.
But aren't they good? This is
delicious.
a perfect little wonderful snack.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that too. We're talking about dehydrating and things like that. And for those folks that are getting ready to get on a diet, there are some diets that say don't eat dried fruit. Right. When you're on diets. What's that all about?
It has to do with, because what happens is when you eat something dehydrated and you're hydrated inside you, it's like a sponge. It's looking to rehydrate. So it will take the fluids from you. If you don't compensate by drinking additional water, it can bind you up.
Okay.
So it would be something
okay, that's what the warning's
about. That's
okay.
the key about it too.
Plus you can eat like a dried apricots or what have you. Technically you've eaten, you can eat 5 which you wouldn't eat 5 apricots, but when they're dried and so you can kind of overdo it with the dried fruit very easily.
Which is why potato chips. It's not that potatoes are bad. It's one that they're fried too. They have salt and they're so condensed that before you know it, you've eaten 6 pounds of potatoes, and that's what. So exactly.
Got it.
So be thinking about that.
All right.
Okay, so let's talk about lunch, because that's the thing that a lot of us get tripped up on. We go back to work. We're sitting at the desk. Everybody's going out to get pizza. So what do we do for lunch? We're thinking salad. Okay, so you're thinking, okay, well that's interesting, Sheree. A big bowl of spinach. But what you can do, if you think ahead and you think efficiently, you could put the mandarin oranges. You could just throw some of those right on top of there.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with that earlier. Okay.
I can then add, if I want some denseness, I want to add, let's say, protein. Or something with a little bit of crunch, a little bit of a different texture. I'm going to put some nuts on the top.
And those are raw?
Those are raw. Now let's say I want to, I like the green because I like the spinach and the leafy greens, but I want to add something else. I just got some organic sugar snap peas, so now I've got more crunch, but a different kind of crunch.
Sweetness.
There you go.
And then, let's say, remember, I don't cook, really. So I eat mostly raw. I could add raw shredded beets. I could add some raw squash.
Speaking of beets, maybe you want some additional crunch. How about some of this dried beets right on top of there?
Why
It's
not?
like a crouton. A beet crouton is what it is.
I love it. Let's get imaginative. But we can also, if we want to go convenient, in the store you can find now cooked, already prepared. Here's beets, and then here's some butternut squash. They're cooked, they're ready to go. You clip them open. These say heat and eat. I just dump them on my salad. Now, before I know it, I've got a beautiful salad, and actually this would last, these are probably 2 servings. So this would last me for a couple of days. It's not that expensive. I can tailor it to how much I want or how little.
And very
no
hearty,
dressing.
too.
You don't put a dressing or anything on the top of that?
I make my homemade dressings.
And what do you use for dressing if you say stay away from oil?
Well, what I do, there's a recipe for dressing in the book that I shared with you, and it uses as a fat basis avocado.
Okay.
And it's avocado. The reason I have spinach in my fridge is because I made this yesterday. Avocado, spinach, a little bit of Dijon mustard, and a garlic. That's it. A little bit of water to make it blend.
Just either a clove or a scoop of garlic.
Yeah, and I think I might have brought that for you another time. It's that really bright, beautiful green dressing. So anytime that you want to look for a salad dressing that doesn't use oil, a lot of times avocado would be a great
Because that's your
substitute.
go-to, isn't it, for an oil substitute?
It is. It's a great source of fat. The other thing that I use often is fresh coconut.
Does coconut oil, is that excluded from that? Is that considered?
Yes, because it's an extrative from the whole food. But if you want to make a dressing, if you mix up the meat from a whole coconut, it's thick, it's got some fat to it. It's also got a little bit of sweet, so I usually use it for a basis for like a curry dressing.
Sure.
It's really good for that.
All right, so all these tips to get you up and going, and we'd love your shirt. Go around the counter here so people can see your outfit, because people can't appreciate the outfit. And you know, a lot of times people ask me.
She's always sparkly to
high
begin
fashion
with, but
today.
she's extra sparkly today. And you know what I love about this is the fact it's just change. You're just making different selections.
Exactly.
It's not like you're and I think that kind of you're just changing.
Yes. And this is a lot of
doing
food.
with the diet, that restriction that you're following. That's a whole different ball game. Whereas this, you're making different choices.
Right. And the big
And
thing
you feel
is
better as a result.
go simple, step back, fewer ingredients, 1 ingredient in here, beets, 1 ingredient in here. That's the key.
There you have. For more information, maybe you have some questions you want to ask Sheree. You're great at answering emails.
I love to answer emails. Email me at info@fork-road.com or visit my website at fork-road.com, and I'll be happy to hook you up with anything you need.
There you go. Well, Happy New Year
Happy
to
New
you.
Year. Let's party.
And in case anybody asks you and you're tired of answering the question, people say, are you a Democrat? Are you a Republican? You say, no, my political party, the Let's Party. Okay, that's the one you want to affiliate yourself with, and nobody can complain. Thank you, Sheree, so much.
Yes, it's
great. Have a
pleasure to
great
be
New
here.
Year.
You bet.
We will